All right, so we are live. I'm just posting this to Facebook, and then we'll get started right at the time we planned for. All right, so I'm just going to give people a few more minutes, and right at 4 o'clock, we're going to start with the first video. All right, just a little bit over a minute. All right, I think we're about that time. Yeah, thank you to people that are attending this. Just wanted to um, honor Andy any way we really could. We do plan to have this be a regular thing. This is going to happen at least a couple times a year. Um, won't always look quite like this. Hopefully, these will mostly be um, in-person events, concerts, lots of activities revolving around them. But this year, it seemed like the safest thing to do was to have a virtual event. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and get this started. A little bit of background behind this first video. So, and by the way, I don't think I've said my name's Jackson Bollocks. The first time I used that name well, the first time I announced that name publicly anywhere was the first time I actually met Andy in person. Andy was a um, a host on a radio show, the Vic Tim Show, and randomly found my old band Nerdzerker and brought us onto the show. Um, and about a month after we played that show, um, Andy set up a few bands playing at Free Comic Book Day. And so that was actually the first time that Andy used that name, Andy Warpigs. So I wanted to start it off with a video from those old days. One of those performances. This video was filmed by Andy's mother, um, and yeah, it was at May 5th, 2013. It was Nerdzerker, Billy Russell from Contradiction, who's also passed on, played a set, and then Andy played. So, yeah, anyway, here is Andy doing the Marvel Civil War song.
Kids are all hopped up and they're ready to go. Ready to go now. The sun is grounded, they're going down to Genosha, baby. But he just couldn't stay. He had to break away. New York City really has it all. Oh yeah, oh yeah. But Cable is a punk rocker. Cable is a punk rocker. Cable is a punk rocker now. Well, the kids are all hopped up and they're ready to go. They're ready to go now. Didn't register, now they're going to the negative zone, baby. But he just couldn't stay. He had to break away. New York City really has it all. Oh yeah, oh yeah. But Parker is a punk rocker. Parker is a punk rocker. Parker is a punk rocker now. And Rogers is a punk rocker. Rogers is a punk rocker. Captain is a punk rocker now. He's a punk rocker. Punk rocker. Punk rocker now. Well, the kids are all hopped up and they're ready to go. They're ready to go now. They got the surfboards and they're going to Avengers Academy, baby. But she just couldn't stay. She had to break away. New York City really has it all. Oh yeah, oh yeah. But Jenny is a punk rocker. Jenny is a punk rocker. Jenny is a punk rocker now. Yeah, Hazmat's a punk rocker. Tiger is a punk rocker. Reptile is a punk rocker now. Thank you. I am Andy Warpigs.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, that was a really cool event. So the first that you can see the whole set that Andy played that day spread out across a few YouTube videos, and Andy, uh, like just a few days before the show, Andy took a bunch of like old Ramones songs, and I feel like there's a few other old punk bands, having trouble remembering, but it's mostly Ramones, and just changed the lyrics so that they were more relevant to play at a Free Comic Book Day. Um, so yeah, Andy was already at shows all the time. Andy just loved local music, and Andy wasn't performing yet, so that Andy just came up with these songs a few days beforehand, and yeah, from my perspective, it was really wild when few about 7 months later, Andy called me up and was like, "Hey, we're working on this album. Can you come play bass for me?" And um, I remember just being amazed because I had seen like I had been hanging out with Andy all the time in those days, and I'd seen Andy perform more of these kind of jokey, um, oftentimes like parody songs. And the first time I heard Folk Punk Yourself, I was just absolutely blown away with the quality of everything on it. And yeah, I immediately was just absolutely stoked to be involved in such a project. Um, but yeah, then I suppose I'm going to go ahead and move on to the first submission we had. This was actually sent to me a few months ago. Our friend Shane Hole, who played a lot of our shows with us, especially in the later years. Like if Andy Warpigs was on a bill, there was a pretty good chance Shane Hole was on it too. But they did a cover of Everybody Likes You Now, and so we're gonna check that one out next.
Yep, missed that.
I'm never not gonna miss that motherfucker.
And we're about to wreck this, so I hope you guys sing along because this is going to be good if not. We love you, Jess. And before we wrap up, please go buy a raffle ticket over there. Like I said before, all the proceeds benefit our beautiful baby Jessica. We love her so much. Alright, this one's called Everybody Likes You Now.
Oh, it's been so long since you turned away. Ain't got too used to saying no. You met that pretty girl and she heard her stay. She said she loved you long ago. I guess I'll keep on trying till I'm sick of lying. Got a new car and you bought a new house and everybody
having a blast tonight. Thank you.
I'm so fucking grateful for all.
All right, so that was Shamehole. Now, when I think about Shamehole, it they always kind of remind me of that episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where they're realtors. Um, yeah, Mac and Dennis are realtors, and they're Honey and Vinegar, and like yeah, Amanda's got this really pretty voice that reminds me of the Honey part of things. And then Evan comes in with like more harsh punk sounding vocals, and yeah, he's the Vinegar. And yeah, I really love that dynamic they have. They're a really fun band. I'm sure I imagine most of the people checking this out are probably already familiar with them. They're pretty close in the scene with us again, as I was saying earlier. So, but yeah, if you're not familiar, check them out. They are awesome. So next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share a little bit of content that I got from bands around town. It was really all photos. Um, First, I'm gonna read off the review that Cindy wrote for Folk Punk Yourself. She said, if Folk Punk Yourself is any indication, Andy Warpigs is a complicated man. The title alone might suggest searing rage or soul-numbing apathy. However, the songs in this CD, Andy's first, communicate something else entirely: humor, honesty, and just enough angst to keep things real. The members of the band are Andy Warpigs, guitar and ukulele; Jelly Roll Jenkins, it's Jorge Felix on lead guitar; Jackson Bollocks, myself on bass; and Sabotage Dali on trumpet and melodica. That record did also feature Justin White on the drums, I want to add. But then Cindy went on to say, but Andy does all the songwriting for the group. Their sound is rooted in a clean blend of old school rock and roll and folk. And, as is with any good comedy, each humorous song makes a point in its own cheeky way. However, Andy's more than cheeky. He's serious about what he sings, uh, like in Everybody Likes You Now. He's socially aware, like in N-Bombs and C-Bombs. And he's romantic in his own quirky way, like Chili Pepper. Altogether, that makes him a good folk punk artist, with a fine band of musicians beside him. So Cindy's favorite tracks, at least at the time, were Everybody Likes You Now and STFU. Um, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and share these photos real quick as I talk about the next song. So, by the way, I wanted to have a webcam on here, but my cheap webcam just was not working today. So luckily I was testing it out this morning, and I decided to pre-record a video using my other computer. Um, but yeah, these mostly are photos from early on in Andy's career. Um, but yeah, so I did a cover of Blue Tuesday, which is a very important song to me personally. I'm not big on listening to music that I helped create. I'd say that goes more so for music where I'm like the principal songwriter. Um, I've been always a little bit more open to listening to Andy's music because I'm really just kind of a fan that had the pleasure of getting to work on it alongside them. But Blue Tuesday is a really special song to me. A few years back, my mother passed away. It was actually about exactly 4 years ago now. And the song Blue Tuesday was kind of my go-to song that I would listen to help me feel better. So yeah, I'm planning on recording another version of that too. But for now, yeah, I figured I'd just do like a live acoustic version of it. So Anyway, let's go ahead and get that started, and yeah, I'll do that right now.
Blue Tuesday. Said I woke up this morning, went back to bed. Does it even matter when you live in your head? When the sight of the sun hits like that of an atom bomb, you get burnt by the light, yeah, you wanna know why, yeah, you wanna know why. And so sad, sad, sad. I'm so sad, sad, sad. Feeling so lonely, so lonely I can cry. Feeling so lonely, so lonely I could die. Feeling so lonely, though I don't know why anymore. I met a young woman with love all alone. Said she's sadder than anyone, anyone, anyone I've ever known. She wants to know why she feels empty inside where her life had gone wrong. Yeah, I wanna know why when she's by my side we both still feel alone, still feel alone. 'Cause we're sad, sad, sad. 'Cause we're sad, sad, sad. Feeling so lonely, so lonely I could cry. Feeling so lonely, so lonely I could die. Feeling so lonely, though I don't know why anymore. I said no more, yeah, no more. I won't feel so lonely anymore.
All right, so yeah, that's one of the songs I wanted to do. Um, there was another song that I was thinking about doing a cover of, and it I've been practicing it all week, and I just can't quite get it right. It's hard to play the guitar while I sing it, but I think um, considering the um, the fact that depression was a pretty big part of Andy's life, especially in the later years. I just thought that I couldn't do something like this without having the song be represented. So this next one is actually not one that was submitted to me. Um, it is it's a song that I found on YouTube the day it was posted. Um, it was posted the day after Andy passed away, and I'm sure I probably shared space with this guy before, but I can't say I personally know him. So hopefully he doesn't mind me sharing his cover with everybody here. If so, contact me and we'll talk about it. But yeah, this next one is by Joey B, and he did a version of "Get It Together." Um, and I before I show you, I'm going to comment. Plays the guitar the musically this is pretty different than the way Andy would play it, and I think that's really cool in a cover. So yeah, I thought this is a very unique take on the song. So let's see what everybody thinks.
And I won't give in to the hurt, and I won't lose my sense of worth. I won't spend my days in darkness, feeling lower than the dirt. Get it together, get it together, get it together. Pick up the pieces of your mind. Think of the ones you left behind. You'll see the world one day, even when they've all gone blind. Get it together, get it together, get it together. And I won't give in to the hurt, and I won't lose my sense of worth. I won't spend my days in darkness, feeling lower than the dirt. Get it together, get it together, get it together. You want the one you were meant to be, so lost you'll never feel free. You don't care about the man, yeah, you've got your own fucking plans. Get it together, get it together, get it together. And I won't give in to the hurt. I'll take this life for what it's worth. I won't spend my days in darkness, feeling lower than the dirt. Get it together, get it together, get it together. Get it together, get it together, get it together. And I won't give in to the hurt. Rest in peace, Andy.
All right, so yeah, again, that was Joey B with Get It Together, which is another one of Andy's most important songs to me. Especially, I hear those lyrics and I feel Andy. Um, yeah, that song reminds me a lot of some of the harder conversations we had throughout the years. Um, so, uh, but yeah, I I really think that that song has a great message though, because I mean it's not just talking about the depression, but how Andy was looking for the strength to, well, how Andy was pronouncing the strength that they had to get better, and yeah, very special song. But anyway, so the next song I'm going to share is it's the Bittersweet Way recorded a cover of Faye, which is from the second the elusive second album we did, Geek Rock to the Nations. Um, that was a fun album. That was the most DIY one we ever did. Um, all of these albums were partially recorded in bedrooms or houses, and that album was entirely recorded in bedrooms. I'm pretty sure it was all either in Andy's bedroom, or I recorded some of my own parts in my own room, a few feet from this desk I'm sitting right now. Um, but yeah, so Bittersweet Way, though, like I said in my post about them earlier, they are a really amazing local band. I'm hoping that they're able to become more active again soon too. Just because, yeah, they do have a lot of content, but I want to see more of it. I want to hear more of it. They're just all around awesome, and I love that they did a this cover from that album that I feel like I don't ever get a chance to talk about much, but I've really enjoyed that album a lot too. So anyway, here's the Bittersweet Way with Faye, and I'm gonna just since it's just an audio recording, I am going to just scroll through some of Andy's tagged photos on Facebook as we oops as we do that. Um, all right, here we go.
Travel for hyperspeed, just trying to find what I need. Went to Callisto, Ganymede, and in between. Oh, Valentine. Then I caught a plane to Mars. Saw you drinking at the bar. That night I knew that it was written in the stars. I wanna make you mine. I wanna make you mine. I wanna make you mine, oh Valentine. I wanna make you mine. I wanna make you mine. I wanna make you mine, oh Valentine. Yeah, I thought she was the one. She took my cash, she took my gun. Since the day you hit the ground, you're always on the run. I wanna make you mine. I wanna make you mine. I wanna make you mine, oh Valentine. I wanna make you mine. I wanna make you mine. I wanna make you mine, oh Valentine. She's got style, poise, and grace. She'll fucking punch you in the face. She's the queen of hearts, she's the tart from outer space. Wanna make you mine. Wanna make you mine. Wanna make you mine, oh Valentine. Wanna make you mine. Wanna make you mine. I love you for all time.
All right, so again, that was the Bittersweet Way. Oops, sorry. this is the type of turbulence I was expecting. But yeah, and apologies to everyone, especially the Bittersweet Way, that I didn't think about there being videos mixed in there on Andy's featured photo feed. So again, apologies for the interruption there. Now, yeah, but every time I scroll through those photos, it's it's a little hard um, it always kind of gets my emotions a little bit. Um, so many memories with Andy, and I didn't play all the shows, but I did play a lot of them. Um, and yeah, you know, over 6 years of playing together. Yeah, there's just so much to think about. Um, and one of those, I don't know, maybe people saw the one that was Mandy Warpigs. That was a pun I made once, and I completely forgot that Andy made a meme out of that. Um, but anyway, this next one is from our friend Scott, Wayward Son. It's not a Andy cover. It's not directly a song meant to be about Andy. It's a song that Scott wrote for his mother. But he was saying the other day how it reminds him of Andy now too. And so I thought that it would be appropriate to feature that here. So this is Wayward Son with Sun Lapel David. Um, and sorry, my French is not good at all, so I probably just totally messed that up. But here we go.
If time itself could freeze, the biting of the breeze, your ashes under trees, these memories are stained, the slivers from the sky, struggling to breathe, always awake to the same old pain. Must not betray the many different ways left hidden in my gaze. I will never be the same. With your phantom in my mind, in horror we will find. Time doesn't treat this kind. We will never be the same.
All right. So yeah, that was Wayward Son. Um, and yeah, Scott was a real close friend of Andy's. They actually met over at my house. There's one time when we were having Andy Warpigs practice, I believe, and Scott at the time was in a band with my roommate Tom called Ember Aeonic, and yeah, we were both practicing at the same time, and at least the way I understand it, I think that was the first time those two guys met. But yeah, yeah, just when I saw it the other day, I felt like it was perfect to be featured here. Um, so anyway, next I am going to send a song that was written about Andy by Out of System Transfer. So yeah, they sent this to me a few days ago. Really excited. I don't believe this has been shared anywhere yet. So this is basically a world premiere. So here we are.
What's up? Good night, everybody. We're Out of System Transfer, Brooklyn, New York.
If you don't got a word, then you better kick rocks. My racks in the dead both locked. If you don't got a word, then you better kick rocks. Okay, thank you everybody. We're Out of System Transfer. This next one is called The Last Dogs in Alaska. It's a very sad song. Danielle just made a whole room full of people cry just announcing the song just a couple weeks ago. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Why you wanna rise and why? Why will the rest of my fears? Open the door to the sense of fall, cold and sending you tears. And this is my last time saying the last of my side. And the little connector speed is my ride. And the walls will away here somewhere. With the dance you can find a night. And I wonder if there's a dream. But when I feel the windows on my face, I know the ice was a bit far into place. I'm gonna write it right on down, because we're not allowed to go. Waiting for last times in the last of my side. And no one can act or see on the ride. And there's always going here somewhere. We'll get to see them harder to find. I wonder if that's me. Right. Now we're just gonna consult the old list.
This song is about the things that people take with them when they leave us. It's for Andy and everyone else we've lost. It's called Still Can't.
Still can't pass up one bar around to make a baby. These folks are named by overwhelming still can't even think about the price of rock away where you would hold a hibernated through the snow. Witness of hands and bring a sex away cold. I was thinking just in the cold and break cold and you can never fail. Just a fixing the last for something merry and harder to stop the flavor. There's a secret somewhere to scale most men. What else has there ever been? Even all you fucking ghost girls live away. Watching the sun go hill last night at once. You made all this is the only thing I'm about to say. And it was another desert ants, feeling dry and full of messed up those sucker punks of your life. The fate of you lying there, to those who sees and those who tells you through the one every time I think maybe you're fading back when I know I pick up my guitar and try to sing that old song. No verses in it and I'm roaring, but my voice you know we all the young cowboy, though it done so wrong, I'm not strong. Listen up to my deep steady roars, even though you don't get those drums in the way. Watching the sun go hill last night was right as you made my name was just wasting time and say, and there was another day. Let's be proud of time that you're gone. That I walked through that I missed you, that you echoed in the first of the song. Sometimes you nod and smile like you're right as the fire around the lines. You don't understand the world.
Alright, this song for spooky season. Spooky season.
It's called The Witch's Sabbath. 1, 2, 3, 4. The sound of the moon at night, the window blows in strange. I didn't know how it was always guiding us.
Okay, well, this is going to be our last one. Thanks, Jeff, for asking us to play. And yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. We are Out of System Transfer from Brooklyn, New York. You can find us on all of the, places online, Facebook and Spotify and stuff. We have a new album out called Just Be Loud. And you can get that on Bandcamp. I just dropped my pick, so I'm going to grab that. And then we're going to play a song called Flesh and Marrow.
Play some ska so you can pick it up.
Ooh. Okay. All right. Yeah. We're out
Don't
of System
tempt me,
Transfer.
Jessica.
Thanks
Doesn't
for
warrant-
watching, guys.
Doesn't warrant a response.
Ready?
Yep.
Just
watching. We're out of system transfer.
All right, yeah, again, that was Out of System Transfer from Brooklyn, New York. Yeah, cool anarcho folk band. And they mentioned thanks to Jeff. Yeah, Jeff Moses had contacted them and got them to submit that for this event. So, thank you, Out of System Transfer. Thank you, Jeff. It's great to have some help on the other side of the country recruiting people to contribute to this. So, in the last few minutes, about 15 minutes ago, I was sent a track that just got finished. So, but it is again just an audio track. I'm gonna try doing the same type of thing I did with Bittersweet Way earlier, where I go through Andy's photos as we listen to it. I haven't listened to this track yet, so I'll be hearing it for the first time right alongside you. Yeah, so this is Serene Dominic, and it's his rendition of Bad Faith. So here, I'm just going to get these photos pulled back up and get started right now. All right, so yeah, again, that was Serene Dominic with Bad Faith, and yeah, that I really enjoyed that. That um, that song was the most difficult song I have ever had to record because the way Andy would count in that, like um, the way musically that was put together It just was very unusual. It didn't follow a perfect 4/4 structure all the way through, and just to my very mathematical brain, that made little sense to me. And so like I had to write down in a notebook, okay, we're playing this for this many bars every time. And so I have as a cheat sheet right next to me as I was recording the bass for that song originally. Um, but yeah, I great song. We only played that live a few times, at least with as a full band. I'm sure Andy probably played that a bit more solo. Um, but yeah, thank you for submitting that. That yeah, I really enjoyed that. So the next thing that we're gonna do, this is a part that might be a little rocky too. So our friend Annie wants to do a live performance with us. So I am what I'm going to try and do is call her on Facebook Messenger and with a video call, and so we're going to give this a shot. Hopefully this works out. So here I'm going to go ahead and just move this window over here, and I'm going to give Annie a call. And something went wrong. Okay. Let me see. Try this one more time. Okay, yeah. It's not working this many times. I don't think it's going to work. Um, so Annie, I'm really sorry. Looks like this isn't working out. But let's let's get together right after I finish the live broadcast, and we'll talk about like let's just get that posted into the event page that we created for this on Facebook, and yeah, that way we can still share with everybody. I know Annie's been working really hard on learning her cover. So again, I'm very sorry that we ran into that technical problem right there. Um, so I have one more thing that I want to share with you, and I want to give you a little bit more of my perspective on this too. I'm gonna kind of do the whole Andy's tagged photo slideshow as I talk here, but this next one is from James Majors. And I remember Andy telling me about James. I feel like it was back in 2014. Um, at the time, James was very young, like 14, 15 years old, and he was like, uh, "Hey, I know this kid. Uh, his mom works with my mom, and he makes these crazy weird videos, and he's just like the coolest the coolest little kid." And Andy was just so stoked to know James. I personally didn't meet James until way later. I think we kind of crossed paths a little bit throughout the years, but didn't really talk directly until after Andy passed away. And when we were putting together the first tribute show for Andy, which was back in June, um, I knew James had to be part of that. Not just from the original way that I'd seen him, I'd heard his name, but also around that time, like a few months before Andy passed away, I'd seen James start posting um, some videos of him covering this same song. Um, so when we put together this event, um, James recorded a new cover of it and actually mixed it in with some footage from Andy shows that he had recorded himself. So very cool to see footage of Andy that I had never seen before. So I'm really excited to share this with you guys too. James is a super talented guy, and yeah, I uh, he also has a very creative take on the Andy songs that he chooses to play. Um, so yeah, I uh, here again is James Majors, and he's playing "Fuck It All Up and Get High," which was our closing song for the majority of shows. I hope you enjoy.
Happy birthday, Andy.
In the valley. Yeah, we got some dang shit all the way from Cali. Somebody pulled the biggest fucking one-hitter back in the alley. That's when we fucked it all up. Fuck it all up. Fuck it all up. I get high, fuck it all up, get high. From the first time I tried till the day that I die. Fuck it all up, fuck it all up, fuck it all up, get high.
Hopefully, the audio recording sounds good on that one.
And yeah, James, the audio sounds great. Um, so yeah, again, that's James Majors. I'm really hoping to see more from him soon. Whether that's continuing to perform solo or working with the band. James is a very talented individual. Does cool work with video too. Um, so actually, I'm gonna bring this tab back over here. But yeah, that I just remembered one thing about the way he plays that song is he plays that song in the key of A. Now, Andy would play that song in the key of A sometimes. I also played that song in the key of G, and on the record, we played that in G sharp. Um, which reminds me of another incredible thing about Andy that I've never really talked about publicly, in that Andy, the whole improv aspect of things wasn't just a choice. The One of the most amazing things about Andy is, like, for me personally, I'm a second generation musician. I grew up with music. My father played in bands and always wanted all of his children to be musicians too. I'm the last child and the only one that was into music as well. Um, but all the men in my family were very mathematical people. And so music, the kind of the way we approach it, I mean, it everything is mathematical formulas, as you know, music theory is basically all math anyway. But for Andy, it was amazing to me that at any point Andy could just throw the cape on another part of the guitar and just sing the song perfectly along with it. um I I haven't really tried to perform like that, but the concept frightens me. I just moving around, instead of singing one key, now I'm singing another. Um, I don't know, just the it was all so natural, and my point is that Andy was so, like, the music was such a part of Andy. It there was just this amazing um harmony and, like, Andy's music was, anytime Andy was playing, like, I feel like I was looking into their soul. um and yeah, it just absolutely incredible the way Andy would look at music. And yeah, I understand why Andy's so loved. And Andy was, I I've never known anyone that was at all like Andy. Just a completely unique individual, and just so much fun to be around. So miss Andy dearly. Now, I have been communicating with Annie, and since um here, one second, I'm actually going to send her a message. Okay, so yeah, um Annie's trying to record her cover right now. So that last song was the last one that I had planned. But I'm gonna keep going a little bit, just to give Annie some time, because it would be really nice if she could contribute her piece too. Again, I know she really put a lot of effort into that. But yeah, here is some of that classic Andy attire. The fingerless gloves, the slightly baggy pants, that leather jacket, and of course the iconic cowboy hat that got lost for years. I remember asking Andy back in, like, 2017, 2018, whatever happened to that hat you used to wear all the time, dude? and it's like, I don't know. I can't find it anywhere. So I don't know when exactly Andy found it again, but Andy definitely did. The last few recordings there are of Andy, Andy was wearing it again, and it was that was something that always strikes a chord with me. That it was like everything was coming full circle. Um, it kind of like Andy knew what was going to happen. Um, and when Andy passed away, I can't say that it was really a surprising thing. I had been like, Andy was in a tough spot, and I felt like, man, I might not have this amazing friend of mine in my life that much longer. Um, but I didn't think it could be so soon. You know, I suppose I shouldn't say that I didn't think that was possible, but it definitely the reality of that did not hit me until the news came, the night that Andy passed. Um, but anyway, I want to give Annie a little bit more time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull up um, Andy's first music video, Drown My Baby.
Who are you? What do you do?
I'm Andy Warpigs, and I agitate people with comedy and art and music.
Where'd you come up with the name Andy Warpigs?
It's art and music together. Andy Warhol, Black Sabbath. I am trying to change culture locally for the better, and then hopefully globally, but, you know, action starts locally. Small things become big things.
Don't you think that ukulele music is a little played out at this point? What's the name of the song we're about to listen to?
Drown My Baby.
What's it about?
Drowning babies.
1, 2, 3, 4. She took my pills and my cocaine. She's got 3 people in her brain. She took my cares and she said, fuck it. She drowned my baby in a bucket. She dug up all my astroturf. She turned him blue on the floor like a smurf. She took my care, she just said, fuck it. She drowned my baby in a bucket. She even killed my dear old dog. Strung up in butcher like a hog. On a tasteful platter of corn and beans. And now I'm begging darling please. She took my care, she just said fuck it. She drowned my baby in a bucket.
What's your name? What do you do?
Jackson Bollocks, play bass.
Who are you? What'd you do on this album?
Jilly Roe Jenkins.
And what'd you do on this album?
I came to conquer defeat.
What do you think the kids need to do to make this a better world?
Fuck more, do more drugs.
Where'd you get that hat?
I stole it from the devil.
Who clothed your band for this photo shoot?
I've been clothing myself since I was 7, I believe. Not very well. Indian School Thrift. Indian School Thrift clothed us.
Yeah, actually his mom clothed me, though.
You cut her your butt.
Yeah.
If I gave you $420 right now, what would you buy with it?
$420 worth of weed.
All right. So yeah, again, that's some old school Andy for you. So we one thing about that music video is when we recorded Folk Punk Yourself, we did have Justin White play drums on that album again. Um, Andy was very excited to have Justin with us. And in fact, when Andy called me up the night before I started recording that album, um, one of the things that they said was I got the drummer from Andrew Jackson Jihad on here. Justin had played on one of Andrew Jackson Jihad's, or now known as AJJ, one of their albums previously, and so Andy's super excited about that. But at the time, Justin lived in Tucson. This is right around the time that Justin moved to Sedona. But the whole time I've known Justin, he hasn't lived in Phoenix. He left Phoenix before we ever recorded any of this. Um, but especially for the first few years, we really struggled with drummers. We didn't have any drummer at all at the time that we filmed that music video. So what we did was we took the drummer from my other band, Nerd Circus, Skeletor, and we had Skeletor play. And yeah, that I had done a few music videos before that, but they were all small DIY music videos. With no more professional guiding hand to them. And it's a really cool experience. As Mike Red, the producer from the album, and also he filmed those music videos, did the editing and everything. At least that one. Um, he's like, oh no, you guys need to just be like I can't remember the word that he used, but something like you need to be ridiculously expressful as you do this. And so yeah, we try to be as cartoonishly expressful as we could be. And yeah, seeing Skeletor in the background in that music video, the way that he's playing the drums, it's just it's so silly. And yeah, Drown My Baby definitely always makes me laugh, not just and because it's a funny song and a funny video, but yeah, it just brings back lots of memories. And I want to talk a little bit about Garen too. Garen is the only person that I suspect might have played more shows with Andy than I did. Garen was right there at the beginning too. A lot of times it was just the two of them. We did some shows as a trio, and with more people. But yeah, um, Garen was there through a lot of those early times and was active with the band as long as he could be. But he did move to Philadelphia several years back. I want to say in 2016 or so. But yeah, I just wanted to give him a quick shout out because again, Garen played so many shows with Andy, and yeah, in a relatively short time frame. And I probably played with Andy for twice as long, and I feel like we played about the same amount of shows. I regret that I didn't put more into this, and like this right here is an event that I personally wasn't at. Though it does look like this is with a different project. But yeah. Anyway, there's a lot of these nights that I just missed, and though you see me in a fair amount of these, I wish I had done more because I felt like I'm working this full-time job and I just don't have the energy to perform all the time. Where Andy was performing very like close to every night. Like I'd say some of those early days, you you could expect to see Andy play like 8 or 9 shows across 5 days in a given week, and it was just like monstrous the way Andy could perform. Now, right here, we're coming across some photos from the Rocky Horror Picture Show at the Firehouse, where Andy played Dr. Frankenfurter. That was an amazing show. My first time seeing any Rocky Horror live, and yeah, just Andy was amazing as Dr. Frankenfurter. It was such a pleasure to behold. Um, Now, again, what I'm doing here is kind of stalling a little bit, but as we look through some things, um, I haven't quite seen that yet. But Annie, we will definitely give you a chance to display what you've worked on to everybody. But well, here, I'm going to do one more thing. I am going to play one of our newer music videos. We'll play Neat. I think it's appropriate since we played one song from the first album to play one song from the last album. So this song, by the way, is based off of an anime called Welcome to the NHK, which talks a lot about this term Neat, which apparently is a term that at least at the time, wasn't used so much here in the States, but apparently was used more in Asia or other parts of the world at least. So I don't know, but yeah, Andy did get it from an anime show. Welcome to the NHK.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Coming when she's on the way. Yes, waking from the NHK tonight. Oh, tonight. They're gonna like me better when I'm dead. Hearing voices in my fucking head tonight. Oh, tonight. But I won't believe in anything that doesn't believe in me. Won't believe in anything. Fuck everything we're gonna need. When you're a kid, when you can't eat and all your friends think you're on tweet. When you're a noob, when you're a kid, you can't compete, you're obsolete, yeah, you're a noob. You'll probably sleep in the cold concrete, yeah, you're a noob. She's on the way. Yeah, she's waiting for the NHK tonight. Oh, tonight. They're gonna like me better when I'm dead. Floating under my own fucking friends tonight. Oh, tonight. But I won't believe in anything that doesn't believe in me. Won't believe in anything. Fuck everything we're gonna need. When you're a kid, when you can't eat and all your friends think you're on tweet. When you're a noob, when you're a kid, you can't compete, you're obsolete, yeah, you're a noob. You'll probably sleep on the cold concrete, yeah, you're a noob. Yeah, you're a freak, yeah, you're a geek, yeah, you're a noob. You'll probably sleep on the cold concrete, yeah, you're a noob.
I like how there's so much silence at the end of this video. Um, yeah, very unique creative choice there. Um, all right, now at yeah, at this point, I don't think I can really keep this going much longer. Unfortunately, I haven't gotten something pre-recorded from Annie yet. Again, Annie, I want to apologize to you right here, but we will make sure that your content gets shared, in places where we have this archived as well. Um, but I suppose I will say some closing words. I've said this a lot, like in my own Facebook and in kind of similar things, like when I posted on the band page when to announce Andy's death back in May. But Andy was just the most amazing character. Did not seem like someone that belonged in this world. And I know I've heard people say similar things about people that have been lost too, but I mean, just Andy was unreal. Um, yeah, Andy was just so much fun to be around, so incredibly intelligent, so artistically gifted, um, and supportive, so incredibly supportive. I've never met anyone that was so supportive of people around them. Um, and yeah, they talk to people about my other band a lot, I know, and like help promote me without me asking, and just did so much for my career even before most of my career became playing in Andy's band. Um, but every single day I'm thinking about Andy. And it's a pretty constant thing for me still. I know for a fact that I personally will think about Andy for the rest of my life, and I'll talk about Andy. I know there's a lot of other people like that too. Um, I did feel some sense of comfort and solidarity on the actual day of Andy's birthday, October 21st, seeing so many people posting about their birthday. I know there are a lot of people that still hurt every day, just like me, over losing this incredible person. Um, and Andy will never ever be replaced. I cannot picture a possibility of there being someone that shares more than one or two qualities with Andy, but most of the things I would use to describe Andy, most of that, yeah, most of the ideas, the adjectives, whatever, I feel like are things that I can't say anyone else comes even close to. Um, I'm sure there are people out there I just haven't met yet that may actually come close to Andy in realms of things such as how supportive they are and things like that. But Andy was just such a special person, and I know I personally won't stop speaking their name, and it's a good opportunity for me to say their real name again, which was Mike Johnson. Um, that was a big secret of mine for a long time. People ask me all the time, what's Andy's real name? It's not Andy Warpigs. And Andy wanted that kept secret, kind of like me. You know, a lot of the people that know me don't know my real name, and they can say it when I'm dead. But for now, I'm Jackson Bollocks, and Andy felt the same way. You know, those were. Um, but yeah. Anyway, Andy Warpigs, Mike Johnson, just an absolutely incredible personality, and you are so dearly missed. Um, and I just know that I personally wouldn't wouldn't be nearly the person I am today if I had never met you. Um, but anyway, thank you so much to everybody that has viewed this stream, and shared your content. Um, yeah, we're all in this together, Love and Andy. We here in Phoenix, we've lost a lot of other very vital parts of our scene this year as well. But the scene will continue, and you know, to the artists, we need to continue to create content. Hopefully, we can find some inspiration from all this pain we're feeling. But in any case, just keep it going. If you're feeling down, as Andy would say, you got to get it together. And yeah, again, I can't thank you all enough. And I suppose I'm going to go ahead and end this at that.